And everyone, in today's video, I will talk about should women be in the armed forces or not? Is this really a question about physical strength or is it a question about mindset and capability? Even today, many people believe that the armed forces demand only physical power, but in reality, serving the nation is not about gender, it is about capability. Women have contributed to nation building in every field throughout history, and the armed forces are no exception. Indian history itself proves that women have always been symbols of strength, courage, and resilience. One of the strongest examples is Rani Lakshmibai, who led her army against British forces during the revolt of 1857. She fought on the battlefield with courage, strategy, and leadership, proving that bravery has never depended on gender. Another powerful and historically significant example is Nike Devi, the Chalukya queen of Gujarat. She defeated Muhammad of Ghor in a battle fought near Mount Abu. At a time when warfare was considered a male dominated domain, she led her army with intelligence, courage, and strategic planning and successfully defended her kingdom. Similarly, Begum Hazrat Mahal played a crucial role in resisting British rule in Awadh, challenging colonial power through leadership and determination. These are not isolated stories. Indian history is filled with many such examples that clearly prove women's capability, leadership, and courage in warfare. Defending the nation has never been gender specific. It has always been about courage, discipline, competence, and commitment. Yes, men and women may differ in certain biological aspects, but women possess their own physical and psychological strengths that are equally valuable, such as endurance, precision, focus, and stress management. Women are often known for their ability to multitask and remain calm under pressure, qualities that are extremely important in the armed forces. In some areas, women may have comparatively less upper body strength, but this can be effectively improved through structured training and modern military equipment. More importantly, what truly matters in the armed forces is not just muscle power, but mindset, courage, discipline, and dedication. That is why selection processes like the SSB do not judge candidates only on physical strength. They evaluate psychological stability, leadership qualities, decision making ability, teamwork, and confidence. The same standards for both men and women. History alone doesn't prove women's capability. The present does too. In today's India, women are not just part of the armed forces, but they are flying fighter jets, commanding units, and leading missions. For example, Avni Chaturvedi, who became one of the India's first women fighter pilots and successfully flew the MiG 21 Bison, one of the most challenging fighter aircraft in the world. Bhavna Kant became the first Indian woman fighter pilot to qualify for operational combat missions, and Shivangi Singh became the first woman pilot to fly the Rafale fighter jet for India, one of the most advanced combat aircraft globally. These examples clearly show that women are not included because of sympathy or symbolism, but because of merit, training, and capability. In today's modern era, warfare is no longer limited to physical combat. It involves advanced technology, intelligence systems, cyber operations, strategic planning, and precision based missions. These challenges demand skill, intelligence, adaptability, and mental strength. Qualities where women stand equally strong. So, the real question should not be should women be in the armed forces? The real question is are we ready to recognize capability beyond gender? Because history and the present both tell us the same truth that bravery, courage, determination, and patriotism do not come from gender, they come from the spirit. Jai Hind, thank you.